Ah, Maryland, my Maryland. A small but pivotal state in the history of the USA. A state with a rich culture and heritage dating back to the earliest days of America.
Hey there, I'm Michael, and welcome to another episode of Traveling Tips. This weekend, I'm exploring Maryland's Chesapeake Bay.
Nothing is more relaxing than being by the water. Whether you're on a boat or on the shore, the breeze from the water is always cool and refreshing. For this weekend getaway, I'm heading to Maryland's Chesapeake Bay region to enjoy the local food, relax by the water, and step back into history. The Maryland portion of the Chesapeake Bay is only minutes from Baltimore, about an hour east of Washington, D.C., and 2 hours south of Philadelphia. We'll explore the state's capital of Annapolis, venture across a bridge that terrifies even the most experienced drivers, unwind in the laid-back bayside town of St. Michael's, and walk in the footsteps of Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. For our first day of this weekend getaway, we'll start in the state's capital, Annapolis. This city of 39,000 people sits on the western shore of the Chesapeake Bay and along the banks of the Severn River. The Maryland State House stands tall on the hill in the center of town. The State House and Governor's Mansion date back to the late 1700s. The government complex honors Thurgood Marshall, who was a Maryland native and the first Black justice on the United States Supreme Court. Leading down the hill from the State House is Main Street. This charming street is lined with restaurants and boutiques that entertain locals and visitors alike. Narrow streets branch off Main Street in all directions. These lanes are fun to wander and get yourself lost while admiring the colonial-style buildings. Main Street ends at the Annapolis City Dock, which is the heart of Annapolis. Boats cruise through Ego Alley, sparking jealousy for those that don't have access to a boat. Yachts and watercraft of all sizes are docked in the harbor, which opens to the Chesapeake Bay. If you don't have your own boat, you can catch water taxis and harbor tour boats from these docks to experience a day out on the water. Probably the most well-known residents of Annapolis are the midshipmen of the United States Naval Academy. Located along the waterfront of downtown Annapolis, the Naval Academy has trained and commissioned officers of the U.S. Navy since 1845. The Yard is an expansive campus of academic buildings and officers' quarters. The famed Bancroft Hall is the largest dormitory in the world and houses all the midshipmen. The Naval Academy Chapel sits in the middle of campus and hosts weekly services as well as weddings for alumni of the Academy. The chapel is grand under the rotunda and stained glass windows. You can join a guided tour of the Yard or wander by yourself. To enter the Yard, you need a photo ID and to pass through a metal detector, as this is classified as a military installation. There's no shortage of Navy pride in this town. While you're in Annapolis, make sure to check out the food. Several seafood restaurants surround the City Docks area. I like the Federal House and the Middleton Tavern. Both have great local seafood delicacies like crab and oyster. You'll notice in this video that this region is all about crab and oyster. Large events like the Spring Sailboat Show bring visitors from across the country to the largest in-water boat show in the world. You'll certainly feel the nautical flavor of this city by the bay. Public parking is very limited in the downtown garages, and there's very limited street parking. Make sure to plan to arrive early on weekends, especially if there are events taking place at the Naval Academy. This proud, stately city is certainly worth your visit. Heading east on Route 50 from Annapolis, you come to the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. This marvel of engineering connects the western shore of the bay, near Annapolis, to the eastern shore, near Kent Island. Thousands cross this bridge daily, heading for the Maryland and Delaware Atlantic Ocean beaches and bayside towns. The first span opened in 1952 and is just under 4.5 miles long. This is a toll bridge, which is paid via Easy Pass, going eastbound only. The bridge is very tall and can be quite scary on windy days. Once safely across the bridge, you've entered Maryland's eastern shore. We'll start our second day of this weekend getaway in the small town of St. Michael's. St. Michael's is situated on the Miles River on a scenic peninsula stretching out into the Chesapeake Bay. Formerly a shipbuilding and oystering town, St. Michael's is known as the town that fooled the British. As the story goes, one night during the War of 1812, as the British approached, the townspeople dimmed the lights near the shore and hung lanterns high in the trees above their houses. This trick led the British cannons to fire over the town, sparing the homes and shipyards. Today, the town of St. Michael's welcomes weekenders to the friendly harbor and downtown. We stopped in for coffee and a light breakfast at Crepes by the Bay on Talbot Street. We turn the corner and head towards the water and Muskrat Park. The town's history and day-to-day life revolve around this harbor. Now lined with pleasure boats, this harbor once saw daily oystering and crabbing activity. Restaurants like the Crab Claw and St. Michael's Crab and Steakhouse attract seafood lovers to pick crabs and indulge in crab cakes and oysters. Several sightseeing boats depart from the harbor to cruise the river and the bay. Today, we're cruising on the Patriot. Since 1969, these cruises have entertained families with the historical narration past large waterfront homes and stunning sailboats. Tickets are available online for $25.50 and in person for $27.50 for regular adult fares. Note the cruise boards passengers in the order in which you purchase your tickets, so buy early to get the first pick at seating. You can sit upstairs in the open air under the canopy or downstairs in the air conditioning. There are restrooms and a snack bar to help make the 65-minute voyage more comfortable. The friendly crew help make the experience enjoyable for everyone. As the ship re-enters the harbor, you can see the Inn at Perry Cabin in the distance, an ultra-luxurious waterside resort. You may recognize this as the site where the wedding reception scene was filmed in the 2005 movie Wedding Crashers. Near the harbor is Talbot Street, which runs through the downtown of St. Michael's. Boutiques and restaurants give character to this small American town. I particularly enjoy browsing through Reclaimed, The Christmas Shop, and Olivan's Olive Oil. We grabbed lunch at Cora's Corner on Talbot Street. The fish and chips were some of the best that I've had outside the UK. The downtown is very walkable. Although most streets lack sidewalks, the compact grid pattern of streets and light traffic allow you to easily wander past historic homes and quaint cottages. There are a number of bed and breakfasts and boutique hotels that offer the perfect romantic weekend escape from the city. We come upon an industrial-looking complex at the southern end of town, which is home to the St. Michael's Winery, Eastern Shore Brewing, and Grey Wolf Distilling. I'm trying the dry flight of wine from the St. Michael's Winery. There's an indoor tasting room in addition to outside seating. Next door at Eastern Shore Brewing, I'm trying a sampler of local ales. If you like museums, I'd suggest stopping in the Classic Motor Museum of St. Michael's. This collection of classic cars sits under the roof of an Amish hand-built wooden barn. Classic cars on display in summer 2021 include an antique fire engine and classic Thunderbird. This place is perfect for the car lover in your group. Admission is $10 for a single adult and $15 for 2 adults. I'd also recommend visiting the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum. Located right on the water adjacent to the Patriot Cruise Dock, the museum tells the story of the boat building and oystering businesses that once prospered in this region. One of the iconic pieces of the collection is the Hooper Strait Lighthouse, which dates back to 1879. Tickets to the Maritime Museum are $16 for an adult. If you purchase tickets for the Patriot Cruise, you receive $3 off admission to the museum. Also, bring your $20 or more same-day receipt from a St. Michael's merchant and receive a $3 discount on your 2-day general admission ticket. One more tip. We learned from the attendant that the grounds of the museum are open for free after 5 p.m. as a public park. For dinner tonight, we're heading to the Crab Claw. If waterfront dining and crabs sound like heaven, this is the dinner spot for you. I opted for the Chesapeake Bay Blue Crab Cakes, topped with Old Bay seasoning. This dinner couldn't be any more Maryland. The cool breeze and friendly service make this a dinner to remember. To cap off the night, stop by Justine's Ice Cream Parlor on Talbot Street for local-made ice cream. This place is popular, and there is usually a line out the door. The ice cream makes the wait worth it. We start our last day traveling south from St. Michael's into Dorchester County. Maryland comes with a troubled past. Although Maryland never seceded from the Union, it was a slave state. To thousands of slaves, the border with Pennsylvania to the north represented freedom and a new life. Harriet Tubman was born into slavery on Maryland's Eastern Shore. At a young age, she watched her family torn apart as she and her siblings were sold as property. She escaped to freedom at age 27 in 1849, making it over the border to the north. She returned to Maryland 13 times and personally rescued 70 people and provided detailed instructions for hundreds more to escape to freedom in the north and Canada. The escape was treacherous, involving hiding in safe houses and basements along the way to avoid slave catchers. This became known as the Underground Railroad. She once said, "I never lost a passenger." Today, near the site of the plantation where she was born, is a national park and museum dedicated to her life and the pursuit of freedom. The visitor center includes short films and displays chronicling her life, the struggles of slavery in the South, and the Underground Railroad. There are several hikes and drives leaving from the visitor center where you can follow in her footsteps through the marsh and woods as she helped hundreds escape slavery. In the nearby city of Cambridge, a museum is dedicated to Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. The museum right now has limited hours, so check ahead before visiting. Frederick Douglass was born into slavery on Maryland's eastern shore as well. After he escaped to freedom in 1838, he championed the abolishment of slavery and became a champion for equal rights. Visiting these sites gives you great perspective of the horrors these men and women faced and overcame. If you have time, I'd recommend taking side trips around the scenic peninsulas to get an even bigger taste of the region. Oxford is a small town on the Tread Avon River. We'll arrive in Oxford via the Oxford Bellevue Ferry, which is the oldest ferry still operating in the United States. This is a slight distinction from the Balboa Island ferry I took you aboard in my day trip to Newport Beach video. That ferry is the longest continuously operating ferry in the USA. I'm linking that video here for you to check out after this one. I digress. The Oxford Bellevue Ferry operates about every 20 minutes from 9 a.m. until just before sunset. Once in Oxford, you're greeted by the Robert Morris Inn. This hotel is the oldest full-service inn in America. The town park opens up to the breeze of the river, and it's a great spot to watch boats go by. While you're here, stop into the treasure chest shop for local art and home decor. I'd also recommend you stop into Doc's Sunset Grill and the Scottish Highland Creamery. Just south of St. Michael's is Tilghman Island. You'll pass over the iconic Tilghman Island Bridge, which rises and lowers as tall ship traffic passes through the channel that connects the bay to Harris Creek. The Characters Bridge restaurant is a great spot to watch boats and enjoy fresh caught seafood. At the southern tip of the island is Black Walnut Point, which has a public fishing area and a boutique inn. Down the road in Dorchester County is the Blackwater Wildlife Refuge. This marshy tidal wetland is home to a variety of wildlife and has been called the Everglades of the North. Hiking trails and driving tours branch from the visitor center. You may even spot a bald eagle, or at least some pretty butterflies. Maryland's Chesapeake Bay region is a tale of two shores. A relaxed, laid-back bayside paradise, and a sophisticated, proud mainland, connected by a shared passion for the water. I've been coming here since I was a kid and keep coming back for the sea breeze, great food, and history. When the food is fresh catch, when the pride and history of a nation surround you, and when water brings us together, you know it's a great weekend getaway. To follow my travels and get more traveling tips, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to this channel, and check out my weekly posts on travelingtips.com. Links are in the description.
Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.